Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back to the St. Clair College Sportsplex for the final day of the NBL Canada Draft Combine here on we-tv.ca. I'm Aaron Sanders. I'll be your host once again for the next few hours, and we have nothing but scrimmages going on for this time around. Now, as you could see yesterday, we had a lot of drills that test the endurance and test the physicality of these players. We've seen a lot of vertical jumps going on, too, in the beginning stages of the stages. And early on, it was Evan Panel who stood out the most with the 37-inch vertical leap. So you're going to see a lot of scrimmages going on today. Nothing but fun here, so let's go right to the action. We got you. I think the best solution would be standing on the sides. So yesterday you've seen how capable this St. Clair floor is when it comes to doing all these scrimmages and all the drills during these last 2 days. And we have 3 games going on right now. Our floor cam is focusing the game that's on the middle floor right now, and it's an interesting game right now. It's 10-7 with about 5 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the first half. Games have been going on since 9 a.m., so a lot of people were very eager to get inside this gym to strut their stuff, and they've been doing it all weekend. And a beautiful finger roll right there by number 28. And we've been paying attention to all these guys. That's Matthew Hart. He came from George Washington University, 6'1", 177 pounds. The black team gets it back. A shot from off the backboard doesn't go, but they regain composure. A 3 on the way, and it's good. That was Warren Jones. He came from Green Bay, 6'2", 175 pounds. He's a guy with a 28.3-inch vertical leap. And that 3 makes him look like he has a vertical of about 30. So like we said, once again, we got And that's a pull-up jumper by David Hay, and that doesn't go for him. Number 104 that just drived right in was Wally Hepburn. Team Black trying to find some way to get the red team off their balance, and that pull-up jumper couldn't go for Deshaun Knight from Illinois State. 6'1" fella right there. Oh. So like I said, the games have been going on since 9, and one player that stands out so far in these early morning scrimmages was a guy we interviewed yesterday, Dallas Hunter. He does have the capability to fire shots at all costs. So more action going on here at the scrimmage. Once again, we have 10 teams. There's going to be zeroing in on who they want on their roster for the 2017-2018 season. Once again, the teams, the Atlantic Divisions, the St. John Riptide, the newcomers to the Atlantic Division, the Moncton Magic. Moncton has had a team in the NBLC since the beginning. They were formerly known as the Miracles, but under new leadership and ownership, they're now known as the Moncton Magic. And if you've been checking all their news lately, they have been very serious of picking up players during the offseason, and that has been really good for them. They picked up a key veteran like Al Stewart, and it's no surprise right there considering the head coach is Joe Salermo, who we're going to be talking to later on as this telecast goes on. But they picked up a couple of players that were former Storm players, some of the new guys that are willing to bask in the great white North glory. So the Moncton Magic pretty much got their roster picked out, but they are still here to give everybody a chance. So that's the Moncton Magic, the Halifax Hurricanes, the Atlantic Division champions of last year. And I'm sure they are willing to get right into it as fast as they can. Then, of course, we got the Cape Breton Highlanders. They were the expansion team last year, and they struck it rich right out of the woodworks. I mean, they had great players over there. Shaq Keith joined in at the beginning of the season before going back to Windsor. But they have firepower in their backcourt position, no question about it. They were a game away from making it to the playoffs, but they lost one of their final games of the season. So you better expect them to become tough as well. The Island Storm, they're under a new head coach, Tim Kendrick. We talked to him yesterday. They are really stoked of becoming a part of PEI's only professional sports franchise. And this is an Island Storm team that has a lot of heritage and a lot of history, and that's all thanks once again to Joe Salermo. I mean, they created great players. Al Stewart has already mentioned, Terry Thomas, and among a lot of others. So the Island Storm are always a team that are great championship contenders, and we're going to see how they work perfectly this year. So that covers all the Atlantic Division teams. For the Central Division, you got the Windsor Express as they are hosting the NBL Draft Combine this year. The Niagara River Lions, they're under a new rebrand of themselves, new head coach Joe Razzo, and they look pretty comfortable in the position they're in right now. The Kitchener-Waterloo Titans, they've added a lot of firepower in the backcourt, adding one veteran guard whose name is Darren Duncan. He used to play for the Windsor Express, but Serge Lange's system has always worked in the NBLC. He's no stranger to the league, being the former coach of the Moncton Miracles, but he led this expansion team to the playoffs. Gutsy effort by these guys, one of the most hard-nosed teams you'll ever encounter in the Central Division. They will keep games close and keep you on the edge of your seat. The defending champion London Lightning, they have a new head coach too, Keith Vassell. We talked to him yesterday. He too is pretty stoked, and they have no question the question, that ability that they do want to repeat as back-to-back champions in the NBLC. So a lot going on for them. And the new team, the St. John's Edge, a lot of potential for this squad. So take a number and watch out for all these teams in NBL Canada. Now we go back to the open scrimmages.
How you doing, man? Doing well. This right here? This is good.
All right, I'm here courtside with the coach of the Moncton Magic, Joe Salermo. No stranger to the NBLC, and for sure no stranger to the draft combine over here. And Joe, how's the intensity and how's the experience been for you this year?
Oh, the experience has been outstanding. You know, this is my 7th combine, you know, that I've been to, and by far the best yet. You know, I think they've really kind of rolled out the red carpet here. I think the Windsor Express has done a great job. I think Gerald Renshaw with Global has done a great job finding some players and marketing the event. So you pair those two things with the facility here at St. Clair, and it's just it's a top-notch event.
And we talked to Daryl yesterday during the telecast, and he said if there's one thing that's going to have to come down to, it's about the unity and the teamwork, and he hit it right on the nose. And I'm assuming that's what the Moncton Magic is all about.
Yeah, this year, I mean, we're really excited about this season. You know, it's a totally fresh start in Moncton. New ownership, new management, new coaching, new players, new team name, new colors, everything. So it's a really exciting time right now. I moved over to Moncton in July, so I've been able to kind of settle in there, and we've kind of really hit the ground running. So we've added some nice pieces for training camp that's coming up here shortly, and we're just all really excited.
And no question about that. Now, I remember watching a news feature when you started out coaching for what was now known as the Summerside Storm, and you said the atmosphere was quite different, and especially it was a culture shock for all the players because they were so unaccustomed to the atmosphere over there. But now going to a new team, and you mentioned you did move there in July, at that time, did you feel like, okay, this is a new city, a new start, or is this business as usual?
Well, I mean, it's certainly a new start for myself. You know, after being with the same organization for 6 years, it's refreshing. It's refreshing to start new somewhere in a new city, working with new people and new ownership groups. So, no, you know, like I said, it's an exciting time for us. Moncton is a great city. You know, I'd only spent a little bit of time there over the years as we went and played the Miracles, formerly Miracles. You know, but being able to spend a couple months there now, I'm really enjoying it, and my family's enjoying it. And like I said, we just really can't wait to get this season started.
And once again, all the teams that you coach, they are perennial contenders for the championship. You made it to the finals 2 times back in 2013 and 2014. But let's backtrack to last season. You guys spurred an incredible series against the Riptide, upsetting them in 5 games, and then going up against the Hurricanes before being eliminated in 6 games. How did you guys spur that upset, and how can you assess the whole season altogether?
Well, I think the season was up and down, you know, but I think a lot of people still have a hard time understanding the parity in this league. And I mean, it's so challenging every night. Any team can beat anybody any given night. I know that's a cliche, but it's true here in the NBL Canada. As far as my team last year, I thought we really peaked at the right time. You know, we really finished the season strongly. I thought we made some key additions midway, 3/4 of the way through the season last year, such as Akeem Ellis and Rashad Wack. And you know, it was a good finish to the season. We had a tough series with Halifax. You know, but they're certainly the team to beat in the Atlantic. And you know, looking forward to this year, I think we really put some pieces together for our training camp that's going to be able to compete with Halifax. And you know, that's kind of the mindset that we're in right now.
And putting the pieces together, too, is a big factor. And according to everything that we've seen going on the roster, you also added one of your main men, Al Stewart, the Moncton Magic. I mean, aside from veteran leadership, how important is the veterans coming into this roster, and how much more can they bring onto the table for these new young guys?
Well, it was really important for me this year to bring in a lot of veterans. You know, guys like Al Stewart, Jeremy Williams, Corey Allman, Ronaldo Major from the NBA G League. You know, these guys have played the game for a long time. They've been very successful at what they've done. And I think they all have one common theme and goal, and that's just winning. You know, they're really not out there to prove anything else, you know, on an individual level or personal accolades. They're really just about winning this season. So that's kind of the common theme that we want to see amongst all the players that we signed for training camp this year. And, you know, I mean, it's great to have another year with Al. You know, I mean, Al was actually with me back in the PBL before the NBL Canada even existed. So I think this will be our 7th season together. And, you know, he's really an extension of me on the court, and it makes my job a lot easier.
And a lot of people are aware that you are active on social media scouting all these players as you've done during the summer. And you even went to the Summer League in the NBA down in Las Vegas. But you picked up a lot of pieces of the puzzle during the offseason, and Moncton had one of the most busiest off seasons out of all the NBL teams. But with that being said, with these new players coming in, especially you picking out the players here in the draft combine, what is the other message you are willing to address out to those new players?
You know, just that we want guys that want to come in and be high character guys, be guys that are willing to be part of this team both on and off the court. You know, just having a couple thoughts in mind, you know, improving as a player, but being here to win games. You know, Ronaldo Major, again, is a great example of a guy. He's spent the last several seasons in the NBA D League. And he's excited now to come to a league where there is a development factor, but it's about winning. This is a professional league, and we're about winning games, where the D League was more that developmental league, and that's their focus. So, you know, we want all of our guys coming in to this season with the mindset that, you know, this is going to be a winning organization, and we're kind of, you know, set in our ways in accomplishing that, and we're determined to do that.
And there's the magic in all that, folks. Coach Joe, thank you for your time, and all the best to you during the weekend.
All right, great, thanks.
Okay, folks, we're going to stand aside for a commercial timeout, but when we return, we'll have more combine action here at the St. Clair College Sportsplex. You're watching the NBL Canada Draft Combine on we-tv.ca.
We know you're going to the same gym, and we know you're expecting different results.
This is your invitation to visit Club Attitude, Windsor's best-kept training secret. Individual, custom-designed fitness specifically tailored for you. Clean, modern, well-equipped studio. Body, mind, and soul. Come on, make that change. It won't be scary.
I learn by doing. I learn by reacting to a situation. St. Clair puts me directly into my industry. I'm dealing with real patients, real life situations. It's not just theory, it's not book work anymore. I choose to take control of my future, and my path is St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
Did you know that the most severe injuries in our region are motor vehicle crashes? 65% of road fatalities last year were directly the result of distracted driving. 90% of injuries arriving in our emergency rooms are preventable. Our message to you this summer is, put down the phone. Just drive. Let's work together to keep our trauma stretchers empty. Did you know that the
Welcome back to the St. Clair College Sportsplex, the 2017 NBL Canada Draft Combine. The action's getting packed, but then again, weekend has been packed since Friday night, where they had the welcoming party for all the potential athletes and all the representatives of all 10 teams of the league. And then the full-on action started yesterday morning with the drills and the combine games that finished up after. Not a bad start for the draft combine, and now today we are focusing on one thing and one thing only, these combine scrimmage games, because by the end of the afternoon most of these players will end up in an NBL Canada uniform for the 2017-2018 season. We're going to have another set of combine games going on throughout the afternoon. So for the next few hours, you're going to be watching nothing but basketball. Maybe a few crossovers then and there. Great competitiveness, teamwork. That's all you're going to get right here. So we talked to Joe Salermo. He's really excited to be a part of the Moncton Magic. As he mentioned before, this is a new team taking over for a former squad in the NBLC. What we consider the original teams that started this league outside of the London Lightning. They were known as the Moncton Miracles, but now it's a new team, new colors. It's a new branding all around, and it has veteran leadership. And the rookies and the new players are going to bear witness to what the Magic is all about. So it's been pretty incredible so far to see how these players have progressed, not only in this draft combine, but in the NBL Canada after all these years, as it prepares for its 7th season of professional play. So we've seen some pretty intense games over here so far, but once again, we had a couple of standouts, and funny enough, all the players that we zeroed in onto this morning have been the people we talked to yesterday, and they are seeing the intensity right now. So we're going to part away, we're going to come back, and we're going to talk to head coach of the Halifax Hurricanes, Mike Leslie, in just a moment.
The job market has changed, and I have to adapt. I'm not just getting theory, I'm getting skills. A degree isn't necessarily a pathway to their career. Being industry ready is. I choose to take control of my future, and my path is St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
We know you're going to the same gym, and we know you're expecting different results.
This is your invitation to visit Club Attitude, Windsor's best-kept training secret. Individual, custom-designed fitness, specifically tailored for you. Clean, modern, well-equipped studio. Body, mind, and soul. Come on, make that change. It won't be scary.
I learn by doing. I learn by reacting to a situation. St. Clair puts me directly into my industry. I'm dealing with real patients, real life situations. It's not just theory, it's not book work anymore.
I choose to take control of my future, and my path is St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
Did you know that the most severe injuries in our region are motor vehicle crashes? 65% of road fatalities last year were directly the result of distracted driving. 90% of injuries arriving in our emergency rooms are preventable. Our message to you this summer is, put down the phone. Just drive. Let's work together to keep our trauma stretchers empty.
Okay, we're back here at the St. Clair College Sportsplex for the Draft Combine here on we-tv.ca. Joining me, as always, is the head coach of the Halifax Hurricanes, Mike Leslie. And Mike, we start off as this. How has your experience been so far in this Draft Combine?
Really good. Kudos to Windsor and to our league, but particularly Windsor for taking this on, because it's been a fantastic event, very professional. That's the feedback that I'm hearing from a lot of players, and certainly as general managers and coaches in the league, it's a great opportunity here for us to showcase our league, and Windsor have done a fantastic job hosting.
Can you believe the anticipation and curiosity of all these players? More than 100 people's coming out here to strut their stuff, and they've been at the gates since early as 6 and 7 in the morning just to get out here and go in the gym. So how can you sum all these players out potentially going in an NBL Canada uniform?
Well, I think what it shows is there's a lot of interest in our league. There's a lot of talented players out there, some of them under the radar, for various reasons, but I think the popularity and the growth of our league and our product is beginning to spread. Agents are recognizing it as a real legitimate pathway for their players. Players are looking at it as a place to build a resume, for a stepping stone perhaps maybe to go to Europe. We have a lot of young players here, so this is really sort of their first pro experience, which is great, but there are also some guys that have played a little bit that are looking to, to sort of stay a little closer to home and get a good contract in a good league.
And that's right, too. Let's quickly backtrack to last season, and I know you've been around the NBA for a number of years as the assistant coach back in the Island Storm with your good friend Joe Salermo, but knowing that at the beginning of the season you were taking over a defending champion, describe that process of becoming an assistant coach to coaching a defending championship team.
Right. It was a little intimidating. I have no qualms of saying that, and part of it was we were so late. For me, I was so late to the game. I was fortunate to be able to pick up some players at the last minute, and we were able to put a roster together. And what we decided right in training camp with the players, and it was all of our decision, was we weren't going to play a preseason game. We weren't going to have an inter-squad scrimmage. We were just going to hunker down and try and define how we wanted to play basketball again. And I had to ask the players who were returning from the team before the championship year that they were going to have to be patient with me and patient with the process, because it was going to look much different than what it had the year before. And we all knew that, but they bought in, and they were a great support to me. And we started the season, I think, 9-0, and winning cures a lot of ills if there are any around, and that just enabled us to sort of start into what we felt at that point we had a team that could compete for a championship. So,
and they did too. You guys got so close to winning the championship, only losing the 6 games to London, and a lot of people are going on social media and the news are saying that maybe Halifax's main objection is redemption and to stay on top of the Atlantic Division. With that being said, what can you say would be the main objective for this Halifax team this year?
Well, I think, we want to see ourselves with another chance at a championship. The team, I haven't been with the team for 3 years, but they've been to the final 3 years straight, and the players who are coming back certainly see that as their destination again. And we, as often happens, you have a little misfortune toward the end of the season last year, and that doesn't take away from any of the success anybody had with us, but the players that I had who wanted to come back certainly indicated that they felt that they wanted another shot at winning that championship again.
It's all going to start here, especially in the Draft Combine. All the best to you, Coach Leslie. Thank you for your time.
All right, thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Mike Leslie, the head coach of the Halifax Hurricanes, and when we return, more Combine scrimmage action as the NBL Canada Draft Combine continues.
The job market has changed, and I have to adapt. I'm not just getting theory, I'm getting skills. A degree isn't necessarily a pathway to their career. Being industry ready is. I choose to take control of my future, and my path is St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
We know you're going to the same gym, and we know you're expecting different results.
This is your invitation to visit Club Attitude, Windsor's best-kept training secret. Individual, custom-designed fitness, specifically tailored for you. Clean, modern, well-equipped studio. Body, mind, and soul. Come on, make that change. It won't be scary.
I learn by doing. I learn by reacting to a situation. St. Clair puts me directly into my industry. I'm dealing with real patients, real life situations. It's not just theory, it's not book work anymore.
I choose to take control of my future, and my path is St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
Did you know that the most severe injuries in our region are motor vehicle crashes? 65% of road fatalities last year were directly the result of distracted driving. 90% of injuries arriving in our emergency rooms are preventable. Our message to you this summer is, put down the phone. Just drive. Let's work together to keep our trauma stretchers empty.
More action going on here at the Draft Combine. We welcome all of you back for the final day of the NBL Canada Draft Combine coverage here on we-tv.ca. We're still monitoring the game that's going on the middle section of the floor. And so far, the player that stands out among the rest is number 34, Charlie Shorter. 5'11" guard, and he is a real selfless player. His only main concern is to make sure his team works together and finish it off real strong. So he's not worried about making the buckets. He's just worried about dishing it out and making sure they unite and come together. They keep their composure and stay in this game. Second half about to start in the middle section of this game. And over at the far end, we got more action over here. We got 3 games in 1 at the present time. And these combine games are going to go right until 2 p.m. here. And then the major challenge for all the owners and coaches and all the scouts will begin. And that will start the player interviews with everybody else. And then near the end of this day will be the NBL Canada Draft. And once again, for everybody, if you want to have the whole coverage of the draft, stay tuned to the NBL Canada's social media websites and go to nblcanada.ca for information pending and the players that we will see soon in one of these 10 teams' uniforms. So a lot going on today. The tension is running high for these players because they're playing for a number and a jersey and also playing for 2 cities. The place that they come from and the places that they'll ought to be when the NBL Canada season starts in the middle of November. So handling the ball is Daquan Miller from Missouri State. And number 107, Daniel Hurt, gets the shot. Now Red looks to retaliate. A hesitant 3, nonetheless. But the red team's going to go to the line to shoot 2 free throws. Ashford Arthur, that's the Canadian. He's from Loyalist University. 6'4", 171-pounder. He has no fear of finishing. Whether if it's a bop to the nose or a scratch to the face, his main objective is to finish to the basket. As you've seen there in the first half, the black team felt really loose. They were comfortable with their passes and shots. And the red team got a little angry from that, but now it's the red team that's picking up the momentum. An ill-advised screen caused the clutter. They're going to try it again on the left wing. And a nice block over there from number 45, Tyrone DeGuerro, Fairleigh Dickinson University. For a 6-pound frame, he really timed that block off right to a T. We have more coverage going on the bottom end and the top end of the gym, as you guys can see. So yes, before we parted away for a commercial timeout, we talked to Mike Leslie, and he knows how important this season is. Having most of his roster re-signed and picked up a couple of new players on the way, a couple of Canadians too, because that's what he wants to pin on the most. Five minutes to go in the second half. And like we said, we've been covering this event since yesterday, and we checked out all the action from the bottom floor. It appears to me that whoever's on the defensive end has no coverage on the weak side. But we seen a Canadian stand out from that side yesterday. Isaac Incoon, and once again, he's a potential player for the NBLC, and his style is pretty good. He knows how to control his balance. He knows how to control the ball handling when he's in traffic. He just uses his body to just go right in and finish off with a good layup. But on the other end of this, and this time around, number 66, Jason Anthony Boswell finished off with a good layup. Whistle on the play with 4 minutes to go. This is running clock for the time being. It's 28-18. And to the line is John Roney Caro from TCU, 6'6". Black team wanted to attack, but the red team got one step ahead of them, as number 113 gets to the hole. And right on time and right on cue, we have the odd man, Audley Stevens of NBL Canada. And Audley, last day of draft combine, the tensions must be high for more than 100 of these athletes here.
You know, when you look at the format of the Combine this year, and we extended it to 2 days, I actually would say I don't think there's as much tension, because if you finish, so in the past, you had 1 day to come in, you know, you played for 4 or 5 hours, and at the end of that, that was it. I talked to guys yesterday, and I said, hey, how'd it go? You know what, I didn't feel like okay, but you know what, I got tomorrow. Right, so they're very optimistic about the chance to do better tomorrow. That's what today is like. Today is a second look day, right? So it's all about improving on what you did. If you didn't think you did bad enough, you know mentally that I have another opportunity to do better.
And this is why is this the reason why they're feeling comfortable? Because they had drills yesterday and they were put to all those challenges, but now it's a day to strut their stuff from one end to another. So do you see a lot more comfortability when it comes to these athletes then?
You know, we really, I'm going to take my hat off the Windsor Express organization, Dardis Willis. We spent a lot of time talking about how we want to structure this combine in a very professional manner that does allow players to feel comfortable, that makes them feel relaxed. When you're in your element and you're relaxed and you're comfortable, you tend to perform better. And that's kind of what we were looking for. So I'm glad that you're seeing that, because that really was the goal.
Well, that's the idea of it too. And yesterday we were not only were we paying attention to this, we were paying attention to all the other players and, of course, all the other leagues, because you did mention some of the players that came from the draft combine in years past either struck it rich in the NBLC or started their career here and went off to better endeavors. Yesterday was the NBA G League's draft, and we've seen a number of players from the NBLC make it big, like Wally Ellenson for one, Antoine Mason, Liam McMorrow. So it just goes to show how much of a global presence and a jumping pad the NBL Canada is for all these future athletes.
You know, we're really proud of those guys. The fact that they were able to, you know, take what they from our league and use that and jumping pad, that springboard. You know, they call Wally Ellison the kangaroo kid. You know, jump into new opportunities, and that's really the really cool part about this. You know, NBL Canada is really much about creating opportunities, and as long as the NBA exists as a goal, then there's always something to strive for as players. And hats off to those guys, and wish them all the best.
And they have a good connection with us in the NBLC. London Lightning playing against their defending champions, 905, so champions versus champion. And once again, good exposure for the NBLC, because this is the third year in a row that such a challenge has been put down on the table. So a lot of players from the London Lightning squad and the Raptors 905 squad are riding high on this challenge.
You know, this will be a really big one, because if you look in years past, our season started a little bit later. Our season was starting on Boxing Day. Now the G League started much earlier, so those preseason games are very much within their training camp almost. Well, now with our season starting in November, this game very much is a very real game in terms of getting ready for the season for both squads. So it'll be more of an equal playing field. I'm really excited. I can't wait to see it unfold. You're right. It's champs against champs. I talked to Coach Vassell, and he's excited. You know, they want this game. This will be a huge statement win, and you know, up until this point, the Raptors 905's got our number as a league. So maybe it's time for us to really, you know, try to get one step closer by getting a win against them.
And a lot of fans on social media too are really responding real well, especially to the new coaches they have, like Tim Kendrick. He's having a wonderful time. We talked to him yesterday, and I'm sure you talked to him too. Nelson Taroba, he came from the NBA D League, formerly from all that other stuff. So how are the new coaches and the new owners of the teams taking this in?
Yeah, you know, I've spent a lot of time talking to some of the coaches. I'm glad you asked that, because they're coming with a perspective of, well, hey, you know what? Let's check out what this is all about. And they're really impressed with what the presentation is. And that feels good as an organizer, because you're achieving your objectives. An objective, outstanding third party comes in, and they like what we're doing, and we're just excited about it.
And that's all going on for the 7th season. Thanks again, Audley, for your time.
Man. Always, man.
It's all good. It's all good. You can see that's the odd man, the deputy commissioner. Watch out, because we got a lot of these players vying for a draft spot later on tonight. Oh, and incidentally, let's give a lot of people the information about the draft going on tonight. How can they get all the information about that?
Yeah, so it'll be a closed-door draft. We've done this in the past, the last couple of years. The results will be shared on social media starting in and around 8 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, then that sounds good. So we hope nothing for the best for all these potential athletes, and it's going to be quite fun to see all these guys go from games here into an NBL Canada jersey. So we're going to see how that unfolds. So once again, that's Audley Stevenson, the Deputy Commissioner of NBL Canada. We're going to have lots more games and lots more excitement right after this.
The job market has changed, and I have to adapt. I'm not just getting theory, I'm getting skills. A degree isn't necessarily a pathway to their career. Being industry ready is. I choose to take control of my future, and my path is St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
We know you're going to the same gym, and we know you're expecting different results.
This is your invitation to visit Club Attitude, Windsor's best-kept training secret. Individual, custom-designed fitness, specifically tailored for you. Clean, modern, well-equipped studio. Body, mind, and soul. Come on, make that change. It won't be scary.
I learn by doing. I learn by reacting to a situation. St. Clair puts me directly into my industry. I'm dealing with real patients, real life situations. It's not just theory, it's not book work anymore.
I choose to take control of my future, and my path is St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
And welcome back right here on we-tv.ca. Joining me is one of the potential athletes here in NBL Canada. This is Charlie Shorter, and he came from Dallas, Texas. So a lot of Southwestern flair being produced here. So how do you think you feel going on in this draft combine?
I feel good. I feel like I've played well. It's a lot of opportunity here, and I'm just ready for it. But I feel pretty good about today.
From what I've seen so far, you have been a selfless player, you know, making sure the team get their buckets. So I've seen a reduce in points of you, but I'm sure that doesn't matter the most when the message here is promoting unity and the teamwork when it's all said and done.
Well, absolutely. I'm a pass-first type of player. I can score. I was a big-time scorer in college, but I like sharing the ball, and I like seeing my teammates happy.
It's a big effort, you know, coming here from Texas all the way to the Great White North to show your stuff around here. So now you're among global attention, I'm sure. So how important is this for you and among your other athletes, which I'm sure you're going to have some camaraderie with after?
Of course, but it's really important for me. I took a chance on myself. I could have stayed in Dallas and, you know, said, well, maybe I'll go next year. Maybe I'll do something else. But, I mean, I took a chance for myself, on myself, a bet on me, and hopefully it pans out. It's a big opportunity for me.
How did NBL Canada catch your attention first off?
Well, I had a friend that played last year for the Miracles, and I know a couple other guys that played around the league. One of my friends played for the London Lightning, and you know, they actually won it all. So they all recommended it to me. They saw me playing in Dallas, and they told me to come up. They feel like I'll be a good fit.
And it might be a potential championship squad this year. I mean, Moncton Miracles are now known as the Moncton Magic, and of course you mentioned the London Lightning, so they're going back-to-back. So it might be good to bask in that championship glory if you get signed to an NBL Canada uniform.
Well, wishful thinking, man. I hope it happens.
That's how it is. Charlie Shorter, thank you for your time and all the best to you. The guy came from Dallas, Texas, and he has ambitions and dreams on his mind, becoming an NBL Canada superstar. So that's the story right here. When we come back, we'll cover more of the draft combine as you're watching this on WeTV.
Did you know that the most severe injuries in our region are motor vehicle crashes? 65% of road fatalities last year were directly the result of distracted driving. 90% of injuries arriving in our emergency rooms are preventable. Our message to you this summer is, put down the phone. Just drive. Let's work together to keep our trauma stretchers empty.
I learn by doing. I learn by reacting to a situation. St. Clair puts me directly into my industry. I'm dealing with real patients, real life situations. It's not just theory. It's not book work anymore.
I choose to take control of my future, and my path is St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
The job market has changed, and I have to adapt. I'm not just getting theory, I'm getting skills. A degree isn't necessarily a pathway to their career. Being industry ready is. I choose to take control of my future, and my path is St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
We know you're going to the same gym, and we know you're expecting different results.
This is your invitation to visit Club Attitude, Windsor's best-kept training secret. Individual, custom-designed fitness specifically tailored for you. Clean, modern, well-equipped studio. Body, mind, and soul. Come on, make that change. It won't be scary.
spectators just coming into the St. Clair College Sportsplex, filling in the capacity crowd. Just getting one last taste of how this draft combine goes. We talked to plenty of spectators yesterday, and they are really in to the process of picking all these players. Those spectators we talked to, friends of theirs are trying out for this. So once again, community in the NBL Canada is at an all-time high. Not only you have friends come over to watch the game, but you have friends on the court actually participating in such intense action. Whether if it's family members or soon to be your fan favorites on your team, it goes to show how NBL Canada is expanding year after year. And it does that very thing with a new team coming in for the 2017-2018 season. That's the St. John's Edge. So once again, a lot of hype going towards this season and a lot of curiosity too, and it all starts down here. As Audley Stevenson and Mike Leslie mentioned a while back, the Windsor Express is hosting this year's draft combine after the Orangeville A's hosted it for a number of years before folding this past season. Once again, hats off for them for establishing a great following for this event. But once again, kudos and hats off to the Windsor Express organization for putting this all together. The process for this has improved. And even Bill Jones said it at the beginning of the morning yesterday that they improved the format a little bit. They have tighter schedules and more detailed drills going on along the way. And then, of course, once again, we cannot stress this enough. Tune in to NBL Canada's website and their social media pages for updates of their upcoming closed doors draft. That will be going on around 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And with the draft like that, it's going to be hard cutting some people. But that's the way the world of sports goes. But then again, not all of these players will be denied the chance to play in the NBLC in the future, because this is what their mantra and their motto is. Ball is life for all these athletes. So this is a launching pad for them to make it to the pros, especially in a global presence in a global nation such as like Canada. This is going to be a great experience for them. So I will stand behind and let you observe and listen to the action. On the bottom half of the gym, it's a 26-15 lead for Team Red. They just started the second half. Nice setup three. Well, correction. NBL Black is leading NBL Red by 14 now. It's 29-15. And that's a hard crash to the floor, but a good effort to get the job done. So Team Red will go to the line, shoot the free throw. And at the line for the present time is Jeremy Hart. 6'1" guard, weighs about 215 pounds. That is a contested step back from the wing. But nonetheless, Team Black gets it back. Number 127, his name is Aaron Williams. Tries a cut to the basket, but he gets tagged. He'll shoot his free throw. A lot of people making their name here for this year's draft combine. As Aaron misses his free throw. Bring it up is Dingiel Walker. He's another Canadian to watch after. So the importance of Canadian players is at an all-time high for this league. As DeMarcus Harrison knocks down a jumper, cutting their deficit to 10. Traveling called. Red will get it back, 7:18 to go. And the game down to the bottom half section of the St. Clair College Sportsplex. Walker tried to control the tempo of that possession. So he'll go to the line. And knocked down his free throw. It is now 30-19. Well, now 21-29, rather. It's a good take and a good strong take inside by Jones again. That's Warren Jones. He hailed from Green Bay University. And a long and strong effort being provided there in the center court game. Team Black finding the momentum once again. Back we go to the bottom half of the contest. So once again, this is 29-21 with 6 minutes to go on the bottom half game on your screen. And a three-pointer just expands this lead. 32-23. Bringing the ball up is number 33, David Hay. It is taken away. And a missed bucket by Jeremy Hart. Three-pointer bottoms out. And that's an and one. Maybe it wasn't, but nonetheless, that basket went in. You can see the different types of styles that these players are producing right now. It's either they're a mid-range shooter, or they could work their way through traffic, or they could bulldoze through anybody. You don't have to be a guard or a forward or an established center to get the job done. All these scouts and all these coaches are just looking for one thing. They're looking for the fire in all of these players' bellies so they could pursue a professional career. Okay, joining me at the present time is Mr. Basketball, as we all know him on WeTV. It's Royal Church, and he's been going up and down around the sidelines watching all these potential athletes play for a big spot in NBL Canada. And Royal, when it comes to a draft combine like this, how emotional is it for these players knowing that they're going to be playing for a spot in the league, but yet it's a global league too?
Well, Aaron, I think it's a difficult situation for everybody because you got so many players here. It's difficult to separate the wheat from the chaff. And you would have to be here every minute of each of the 2 days in order to differentiate between a lot of these athletes, because as you can see, there's some tremendous talent out here. It's really nice to see this happening in Windsor.
What are the coaches and the scouts looking for in a player most specifically?
Well, you know, I don't think you can pinpoint any one thing, Aaron. I think the main thing they're looking for is they're just watching to see if somebody stands out, someone does something extraordinary that nobody else can do. So they're just watching for the players to show something to the coaches that they haven't seen before. Some special athletic move, or or somebody who makes 5 or 6 threes in a row, something exceptional.
Being in this sport for a plethora of years, what is your favorite type of player?
I like enthusiasm. I like someone who loves to play the game. I like someone who's defense first and offense second, likes to pass the ball and be a good teammate.
Now, Canada is becoming a big part of basketball around the world, too, because there's been a lot of players that either made it to the NBA or other leagues overseas. But when this is all said and done, what will these potential athletes take in the most as they try to vie for a professional career?
Well, obviously you can tell that it means a lot to them to be out here, to have an opportunity to make a professional team. It's pretty important to these guys. You can tell by the attitudes, the looks on the faces, the effort that's being put in, that it means an awful lot. Because these kids love to play basketball. They're young, they're enthusiastic, they're athletic, and they should be playing basketball. So, I think it means an awful lot to them, and it's nice to watch a combine like this. If you're just a person off the street and love sport, to see what goes on here, because it's really eye-opening.
And anybody can make it to this draft combine, especially there's one Windsor right that's a part of the draft combine right now, Jordan Gauthier, and you can imagine the devotion and dedication to this fella, because I heard he gets up at 3 in the morning, go to the gym, and shoots 500 shots and makes it. He will not leave the gym until he makes 500 shots. So it just basically solidifies the determination and the curiosity for all these young players.
Yeah, Aaron, I believe you're right there. And I know, I know Jordan Gauthier. I think he was a Herman grad, Herman High School, and I coached for many years at Herman, as you know. And for a kid to do all that, to me, if I'm looking for a player, I'm grabbing him quick, because I know he's dedicated. I know he's willing to put in the extra time. He's sincere, loves the game. He's got all the traits that a coach would want to look for in a player that can make a difference on your team.
That's a true story right there. Hometown hero, too, making a name of himself, so we'll pay attention to him and stand idly by as we watch all these players. Royal, thank you for your time. A pleasure.
Thank you, Aaron.
All right, when we return, we're going to have more coverage of the NBL Canada Draft Combine, and it's going to be quite a doozy for the next couple of hours, trust me. But right now, let's watch this.
Did you know that the most severe injuries in our region are motor vehicle crashes? 65% of road fatalities last year were directly the result of distracted driving. 90% of injuries arriving in our emergency rooms are preventable. Our message to you this summer is, put down the phone. Just drive. Let's work together to keep our trauma stretchers empty.
I learn by doing. I learn by reacting to a situation. St. Clair puts me directly into my industry. I'm dealing with real patients, real life situations. It's not just theory, it's not book work anymore.
I choose to take control of my future, and my path is St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
The job market has changed, and I have to adapt. I'm not just getting theory, I'm getting skills. A degree isn't necessarily a pathway to their career. Being industry ready is. I choose to take control of my future, and my path is St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
We know you're going to the same gym, and we know you're expecting different results.
This is your invitation to visit Club Attitude, Windsor's best-kept training secret. Individual, custom-designed fitness, specifically tailored for you. Clean, modern, well-equipped studio. Body, mind, and soul. Come on, make that change. It won't be scary.
Back on live, and joining me at the present time is one of the owners of the KW Titans. This is Leon Martin, and this is a guy that I've seen making sure he promotes this team real well, especially from last season and of course from this season as well. How are you taking this experience from the draft combine so far?
It's been a great experience. Basketball is new and it's big in Canada, and it's we want to bring it to KW, and the NBL is a great tool we can use to promote basketball.
And I know how eager the Kitchener-Waterloo area was in getting the team last year. You guys were known as the expansion team, and you were clicking on all cylinders automatically. You made the playoffs and out of all that, but now, especially during the offseason, you guys have been very busy to make sure you solidify yourself as a championship contender. So what can you say that goes on behind the scenes that makes this team become a success, especially in this league?
It takes a lot of due diligence, checking out players. Serge has done an excellent job for us. He's been working on it all year. He hasn't stopped looking for talent, and the marketing part of it is also a big factor in making this a financially successful operation. We still have a ways to go, but we're on the right track.
When you see these players play on the court down at the auditorium and see, great presence like that, what is the chemistry like for the team on the court and for the Kitchener-Waterloo community outside the court?
It's well received. The players are, we had a great group of guys last year, and I think this year we're on the right track, same track again. The fans love the team. I have a feeling it's going to take off this year. We're going to see a lot more interaction between the players and the community and moving it forward.
There's a lot of veteran leadership too. You mentioned you have Serge Langis. He's been in the NBA for quite some time, so you know his way through there, but now he gets to venture in some new players too. With that being said, what do you think the new players will take in from this draft combine when the afternoon is over?
I hope they learn a lot more with the NBL, and hopefully learn about all the franchise in the NBL and want to continue to look forward to us for an experience and for an opportunity to play pro ball.
In addition to this draft combine, what makes Canada such a great place to play basketball in?
That's a tough question. I think it's we're a hockey community, Canada is, but I think basketball is affordable sport for any young kid to play, and it's exciting. And the Raptors have done well, and we're all following the Raptors and building off that race that they've got going.
It's been expanding year after year because of success, and according to NBL Canada, we get more teams every year, and the roster has a lot of potential athletes that's going to make it big in the future, most of them using the springboards, and it all comes from the ownership and the management of said teams. Leon, thank you for your time, and enjoy yourself the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Leon Martin, one of the owners of the KW Titans, and we're going to be back with more of the potential athletes in the NBL Canada Draft Combine after this.
Did you know that the most severe injuries in our region are motor vehicle crashes? 65% of road fatalities last year were directly the result of distracted driving. 90% of injuries arriving in our emergency rooms are preventable. Our message to you this summer is put down the phone. Just drive. Let's work together to keep our trauma stretchers empty.
I learn by doing. I learn by reacting to a situation. St. Clair puts me directly into my industry. I'm dealing with real patients, real life situations. It's not just theory, it's not book work anymore.
I choose to take control of my future, and my path is St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
The job market has changed, and I have to adapt. I'm not just getting theory, I'm getting skills. A degree isn't necessarily a pathway to their career. Being industry ready is. I choose to take control of my future, and my path is St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
We know you're going to the same gym, and we know you're expecting different results.
This is your invitation to visit Club Attitude, Windsor's best-kept training secret. Individual, custom-designed fitness specifically tailored for you. Clean, modern, well-equipped studio. Body, mind, and soul. Come on, make that change. It won't be scary.
I learn by doing. I learn by reacting to a situation. St. Clair puts me directly into my industry. I'm dealing with real patients, real life situations. It's not just theory, it's not book work anymore.
I choose to take control of my future, and my path is St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
We got Martin from Seattle, Washington. This is the second guy we interviewed from Seattle, but you could tell the uprising in Northwestern basketball. And how do you feel about this event?
This is a good event, man. It's a lot of good talent out here. A lot of overseas experience out here, a lot of pros out here. Division I guys from significant college programs. So it's definitely a good environment and just finding ways to stand out from the pack.
You know, it's quite interesting that all these players come from North America to show off and showcase their stuff. We've seen earlier a lot of different styles when it comes to it, and then, you know, the sudden ad-lib when it comes to camaraderie, and you guys are meeting each other for the first time. We're just probably friends trying to make it out big. So how big is the camaraderie and the respect that you guys have for each other?
Definitely a lot of respect. I mean, you had to have some type of resume to pursue a dream like this, be at an event like this. So just respect for one another's game, knowing what each other's tendencies on the court, and somehow making that blend. Because obviously, you know, you're just meeting each other, haven't played together before, just thrown together. So building that camaraderie, coming together as a team and just trying to get wins.
What makes you stand out from the rest of the pack?
I'm a shooter. I'm a gunner. That's my skill. That's how I stand out from the pack. A lot of rebounds defensively. Just finding ways to do the little things to stand out from everybody else.
What caught your attention about NBL Canada?
It's a great league, a very respected league around the world. I've played overseas in Europe, and I've heard a lot of great things about this league over here in Canada. So I thought it'd be a great opportunity to come out.
What is the different types of styles that goes on overseas? Because I'm sure Canada has some brutal players that know how to destroy the post, and that goes double for anybody that plays in the East Coast. So how different is Canada's style of basketball compared to playing overseas?
Overseas I can speak from my experience in Europe. It's a lot of teamwork, not a lot of dribbling, a lot of passing, a lot of moving around, a lot of screens, mostly pick and roll, screen and roll pass. They want a lot of teamwork, moving the ball around.
So a lot of technical stuff like the X's and O's and the pick and roll to get it off down pad. So at the end of the day, what will you take from all this draft combines, whether drafted or not?
It's a great experience. You know, like I said, it's a great league. There's a lot of great guys out here, so just listening to the coaches, talking to the GMs around here, just getting feedback, just learning everything you can, and it's just part of the process, and it's a great opportunity. So.
And this is a sharpshooter for you. He hails from Seattle, Washington, so you better watch out. We might have a Northwesterner play in the Great White North. Thank you for your time, Martin, and good luck the rest of the way.
Appreciate it.
Once again, we have more players coming along here. As we get down to them one by one, good to see you, sir.
How you doing?
What's your name, sir?
Curtis Johnson.
Curtis Johnson, where you hail from?
Whitby, Ontario.
Whitby, Ontario, so we got a Canadian over here. And speaking of Canadian players, of course, this is a Canadian league, so how important is it to get NBL Canada off the map, especially when you're playing as a Canadian?
Honestly, it's a very huge thing because there's a lot of talent that we have up here in Canada that doesn't get showcased a lot. So for us to have our own professional league, it's very good to showcase everyone's talent, and especially now that they increased the number of Canadians to 5 on each team, it gives everyone more of a chance.
So you really did your homework on this league, eh?
Yeah, you have to. I mean, I'm trying to be a pro, so I gotta do what I gotta do to be there.
And to hit the books too. What made you come across NBL Canada?
Honestly, I was when the league first started. Oshawa Power is not far from where I live, so I got a first-hand taste of it. I volunteered there and helped out with their not training camp, but their first tryout, their open tryout, and that's where I first heard about it. And I attended a lot of Oshawa Power games. Obviously, they're now Mississauga Power, but you know, that's where I first noticed it.
You know, it's quite interesting that we have somebody that followed the NBL Canada since the beginning. Oshawa moved to Mississauga, and now they're known in the G League as the defending champion Raptors 905. But here's an interesting tidbit. Next week, the NBL Canada defending champions London Lightnings will play against the Raptors 905. So it basically expands and solidifies the league's purpose in this nation. So how important is it to have that type of game played where it comes down to these two leagues going up against the best?
Honestly, it's very good. I believe the past 2 years, both those games have been very competitive. So for even the NBL to have one of their better teams and defending champions play against a G League team, caliber team, is very, very good for us, and especially for this league, just to show that there's a lot of players that can compete on both levels.
If you don an NBL Canada jersey by the end of draft night, what do you want players to know most importantly about you?
That I'm a high character guy, team first guy, and I play to win. You know, I'm gonna come in and do the little things and knock down my shots and do whatever the coach needs me to do to be ready.
And that's how it is. You've been a longtime NBL Canada fan, and I hope you get your just due. All the best to you,
All
sir.
right, thank you very much.
Good luck to you. So we interview a lot of players, we interview a lot of coaches, and you've seen a lot of action going on around here. But do stay tuned. We have more action going on around here. We'll be here till 2 p.m. That's where the Draft Combine games goes on. And as we broadcast most of those games, we get the chance to talk to more of the potential athletes, especially this guy right here. How you doing, sir? What's your name?
Donovan Gardner. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Where you come from, Donovan?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta, Georgia. A southeast guy, huh?
Yes, sir.
So, first of all, how do you feel about engaging in this event, and how do you feel so far?
I feel like this is a great opportunity for players that actually did something well in college and have the experience to play pro ball or have the talent. And also, it's a lot of players that have been working hard throughout the summer, throughout their years, and this is a great opportunity for players to actually get the opportunity to play pro basketball. And I appreciate the NBL Canada, Audley Stevenson. I appreciate this opportunity because, like I said, there's 150 players out here getting a chance to showcase their talent. And the hard work gonna show. You work hard, it's gonna show. And you might be one getting drafted, or you might get invited to a training camp. So it's a great opportunity, and I appreciate it.
How did a guy from the ATL know about the NBL Canada?
NBL Canada is everywhere. They're worldwide. Everybody knows about NBL Canada. I was talking to my mom the other day, and she's looking up different teams and telling me about St. John Riptide and Windsor Express teams, and I'm like, Mom, how do you know about these teams like that? So it's worldwide, and social media is also a great outlet for NBL Canada and overseas countries to kind of get the players to know where to, you know what I'm saying, to come to. So it's just a great opportunity.
And you know, a lot of players we talked to earlier either came from the area of New Jersey or California and somewhere around North Ontario, but we have yet to talk about southeastern play of basketball. What is your style of play?
My style of play is really, really grit and grind and really getting after it. My college coach, Coach Jones, he was a defensive mindset coach. Defense first. So he wanted me to not get scored on. That's the main thing, not get scored on. We can worry about offense going to come. The offense is going to come, but if you got the mindset not to get scored on and really be aggressive on defense, the offense will come, and the coaches love that. The coaches love when you have that fire in you, that aggression in you to not get scored on.
And that's what we talked about during the telecast. All these players have the fire in their belly, and some of them will make it, some of them won't, but it does not mean they will be denied the chance to try again next year. But as for this year, when this is all said and done, what will you take in from this in addition to the camaraderie and talking to the coaches and staff here?
Well, you have to really feel like that you got to take every opportunity you get, especially when it comes to being pro, because the first opportunity might not be your time yet. So every chance you get to be in front of pro coaches, GMs, different pro players, you got to just take all that in, even if they don't pick you up the first time, because guess what? There's going to be other chances, other opportunities, and you got to pounce on every opportunity and make sure you take advantage of that opportunity. And the coaches will see that. They're going to see the hard work. They're going to see what you're doing out here on the court. So it's all about taking advantage of every opportunity you get, especially when it comes to being pro, because it's not easy. Yeah. It's not easy. I worked so hard over the summer. Throughout the years, I worked too hard. So I can't just give up after the first time I get denied or something like that. So
That's right. Well, if you fall down 7 times, it's like the motto, you stand up 8 times.
Yeah, 8 times.
Yeah, you better believe it. Thank you for your time and all the best to you.
You too. Thank you, sir.
We got a smorgasbord of players around here, and we got a potential athlete here. How you doing, sir?
All right, so.
Oh, I'm doing good. Well, you have the bearings of James Harden. You look like James Harden a little bit. But for everybody that's watching, what's your name?
Anthony Beckton.
Anthony Beckton. Where you hail from?
USA, Philadelphia.
Okay, USA, Columbia.
Yep.
Okay, beautiful. I got the microphone here, but you know what? I'll tell you this. You can tell how eager he is to show his name out in the global universe. But what are your feelings going into this draft combine?
My feeling into this draft combine is like it's a good experience and everything. It's a great event to show your talent, whatever the case may be. Basically, you just got to come here to play hard. It's a little like congested, whereas though a lot of players playing all at one time, so the coaches can't really see who they want to who they want to see who they come look for or what they're looking for. So you basically got to play your game, at all times, and just basically just play to win and play together too. Also, and make sure you be vocal, because when you're not showing yourself being vocal, they want to see you, use your voice and everything, communicate, talk, switch, call picks out. So that's what I'm looking at right now and everything.
That's the character right there. And I've seen all of you guys waiting at the entrance doors as early as 6 a.m. and 7 in the morning. This all started especially yesterday, but the same attitude is the same. You guys are eager to get on the court. So how much does that improve your chances of being picked up as an NBL Canada player?
Well, it's a big chance. It's kind of like wide open. Basically, if you play your strengths in the game, everything will fall in place. You should never do nothing you can't do. If you can't go left or whatever, your opposite hand or whatever hand you are, you basically don't want to make yourself look bad out there, because you look at that. You can't say the ball slipped or my bad. Just play smart and make up for the next play. I mean, no play is going to be perfect, but you got to make the best of it, because we all out here trying to feed our families and everything, whatever the case may be, the best way we could. So.
And that's what everybody's doing here. And as you're playing these scrimmages, what are you picking up personally from all these other guys and, of course, all these other scouts that are watching you do this?
I'm picking up a lot of guys don't have an IQ, so I kind of got a feeling for them and everything, whatever the case may be. And a lot of guys don't know when to screen and roll. You screen and stay there. You got to move off the screen, roll off, and you get the ball. Because there's always somebody be wide open when you screen. A lot of guys on the opposite team don't call, hey, watch the screen left, watch the screen right. They don't know that. So you got to feel for it, you know what, I'm a screen here, and hopefully he would catch up to his man. So.
What's going to be the main advice for you when you leave here, knowing that you actually tried out for a professional league and now you're going to gain a lot of experience from it? Aside from that, what will you take in from this when this night is over?
I would take in me being a little more aggressive. Not saying I'm not aggressive now, but basically just show myself more against other opponents on my team, because you got to make your team trust you. I mean, we all first time meeting each other, so you can't make them know you and everything as far as the first day. You got to fill in and communicate and introduce yourself. Hey, how you doing? I'm such and such, and go from there. And hopefully, as time go and the day go, it'll fall in place before the game is over or before it gets too late.
That's how it is. Thank you for your time, sir, and all the best to you.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to step aside here for a commercial timeout, but we're going to have more players here right after this.
Did you know that the most severe injuries in our region are motor vehicle crashes? 65% of road fatalities last year were directly the result of distracted driving. 90% of injuries arriving in our emergency rooms are preventable. Our message to you this summer is, put down the phone. Just drive. Let's work together to keep our trauma stretchers empty.
The job market has changed, and I have to adapt. I'm not just getting theory, I'm getting skills. A degree isn't necessarily a pathway to their career. Being industry ready is. I choose to take control of my future, and my path is St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
We know you're going to the same gym, and we know you're expecting different results.
This is your invitation to visit Club Attitude, Windsor's best-kept training secret. Individual, custom-designed fitness, specifically tailored for you. Clean, modern, well-equipped studio. Body, mind, and soul. Come on, make that change. It won't be scary.
I learn by doing. I learn by reacting to a situation. St. Clair puts me directly into my industry. I'm dealing with real patients, real life situations. It's not just theory, it's not book work anymore.
I choose to take control of my future, and my path is St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
Did you know that the most severe injuries in our region are motor vehicle crashes? 65% of road fatalities last year were directly the result of distracted driving. 90% of injuries arriving in our emergency rooms are preventable. Our message to you this summer is, put down the phone. Just drive. Let's work together to keep our trauma stretchers empty.
The job market has changed, and I have to adapt. I'm not just getting theory, I'm getting skills. A degree isn't necessarily a pathway to their career. Being industry ready is. I choose to take control of my future, and my path is St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
We know you're going to the same gym, and we know you're expecting different results.
This is your invitation to visit Club Attitude, Windsor's best-kept training secret. Individual, custom-designed fitness, specifically tailored for you. Clean, modern, well-equipped studio. Body, mind, and soul. Come on, make that change. It won't be scary.
I learn by doing. I learn by reacting to a situation. St. Clair puts me directly into my industry. I'm dealing with real patients, real life situations. It's not just theory, it's not book work anymore.
I choose to take control of my future, and my path is St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
Did you know that the most severe injuries in our region are motor vehicle crashes? 65% of road fatalities last year were directly the result of distracted driving. 90% of injuries arriving in our emergency rooms are preventable. Our message to you this summer is, put down the phone. Just drive. Let's work together to keep our trauma stretchers empty.
Welcome back to the Draft Combine here on WeTV. Joining me once at the present time is Rashawn, and he hails from the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And Rashawn, how are you taking in these last 2 days?
It's been a different experience, you know, coming with different people coming together, trying to play together and find a tune, and try to play basketball the right way.
And once again, you came from the city of brotherly love, and a lot of people would say, you know, they have a different style to it. Maybe it's not friendly or overall that. Can you rectify and tell everybody how does the city of Philadelphia play basketball?
We just play tough, man. We don't worry about positions. We don't worry. We just go out there and play. We don't do the how they do out here, the jelly fam and jelly. We just play tough, play hard-nosed basketball. That's all we're from. We scrappy. We just get after it.
And I'm glad that you mentioned all those terms, jelly fam and everything else, because it's been going on like wildfire in social media. And a lot of people, especially the kids, are worried about, oh, I'm going to play the guard, I'm going to play the forward. But how important is it to really go into, I guess, mixtapes and all those other films and realize that it isn't about making those pretty passes. It's about solidifying yourself as a top player and making sure you play 110%.
Right. No, it's times. It's times for the flashy plays to get the crowd excited, to get your teammates going. You know, like they don't understand the work that he put in for him to be able to do that. Like he works out hard every day. They just see the highlights that Isaiah Washington and his friends do, but you know it's hard work with that. Hard work come with that. They just automatically think they're gonna come out have a handle like Kyrie Irving and stuff like that. But they got hours and hours in the gym that you don't see. You know, just come out. You know, keep it basic, keep it simple basketball. The flashy times you're gonna have those. You're gonna have those times, but most of all you gotta learn how to play basketball the right way, and it's not dribbling the ball 100 times. You know, it's about where you're spacing at, do your job, you know, and be at the right spot, you know, and knock it down when you get it.
And I know there's been a lot of improvising and a lot of ad-libbing when it comes to these combine scrimmage games. So you guys are either meeting each other for the first time, or you guys are trying out as friends and making sure you make a name of yourself in this league. So how important is that camaraderie and that teamwork when it comes to an event like this, knowing that, you know, you're playing for yourself, but yet you're working as a team?
Yeah. Well, you know, if you come out here and you shoot the ball like some of them have done, every time they touch the ball or something like that, it's going to show it's not good. That they out here looking for somebody, you know, that plays basketball the right way. And if you guys play together, everybody's going to get the shine. Everybody's going to get the notoriety. Everybody's going to get a look, at least a training camp offer or something from it, you know, if your team is playing the right way. You know, if you go out individually, yeah, you might be individually good, but your team got blown out every game. So that's not a good look at all.
And when it comes to this draft combine, when it's all said and done, what has captured your eye the most and will take in for you for the rest of your career?
Just meeting different people and looking at this as a business, pretty much. But overall, it's been a crazy experience. I've never been to a combine like this, how it's ran like this. But you know, you take the good with the bad when it comes to this. You know, just look at it as a business from here on out.
And that's what it is. Basketball's nothing but business, but it's also unity right there. Right. Rashawn, I wish you nothing but the best, and thank you for coming down to this draft combine. So it's quite incredible to see how many people we could get and zero in onto. We just had Rashawn from Philadelphia. We had players from Seattle, and we had players from the home country of Canada. So whether from Toronto or ranging all the way in North America, the most important thing is to have a global presence, and you're going to get the global spotlight too when you play in the Canadian League like the National Basketball League of Canada. It has 10 teams, and as we mentioned over and over again, the draft will be tonight, so everybody knows what they're going up against. All right, so we're going to have more coverage for you as we roll on through the afternoon, but right now, we stand aside for this commercial timeout.
The job market has changed, and I have to adapt. I'm not just getting theory, I'm getting skills. A degree isn't necessarily a pathway to their career. Being industry ready is. I choose to take control of my future, and my path is St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
We know you're going to the same gym, and we know you're expecting different results.
This is your invitation to visit Club Attitude, Windsor's best-kept training secret. Individual, custom-designed fitness, specifically tailored for you. Clean, modern, well-equipped studio. Body, mind, and soul. Come on, make that change. It won't be scary.
I learn by doing. I learn by reacting to a situation. St. Clair puts me directly into my industry. I'm dealing with real patients, real life situations. It's not just theory, it's not book work anymore.
I choose to take control of my future and my path to St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
Did you know that the most severe injuries in our region are motor vehicle crashes? 65% of road fatalities last year were directly the result of distracted driving. 90% of injuries arriving in our emergency rooms are preventable. Our message to you this summer is, put down the phone. Just drive. Let's work together to keep our trauma stretchers empty.
And we're back. I'm going to talk to Elijah, who is originally from Virginia, but he came here from the way of British Columbia. So once again, he is eligible for Canadian talent for all around too. And how do you feel going into this draft combine?
I mean, it's a pretty tough combine. There's a lot of good talent here, a lot of good players from all over the place. And you really only have about 5 minutes, kind of 10 minutes a game to kind of really prove what you got. So for some people, that's really tough to try to do. But they say that's what really makes a pro, is to be able to step in that environment. All these people, all these different factors going against you, and to be able to make an impact. So, you know.
How do you feel knowing that you're taking part of a Canadian League's event and knowing that the world of basketball is expanding well into Canada to the point where this could be the mainstay nation for all of basketball?
I mean, I feel like I'm kind of being a part of history in a way. You know, basketball is growing. Obviously, it's big in the United States. It's growing in Canada. It's growing all over the world. So to be a part of something like this and to hopefully succeed at that would be amazing and be a part of history.
How can you describe the type of style you provide on the court that makes you stand out from all the other combine athletes?
Well, there's a lot of guards in here, and for myself, I'm a pretty big guard, so I try to do, you know, all the little things. I'm pretty physical. Try to crash the boards, try to box out, you know, talk on defense, very vocal. So if I can do those little things, I feel like that'll make a big difference.
And we keep on hearing over and over again from the scouts, especially in the speech they gave at the start of the combine yesterday, that there may be individuals out there trying to don an NBL Canada jersey, but at the end of the day, you got to take in the leadership and the teamwork that comes with it. So how important is teamwork when it comes to modern day basketball?
Oh, it's the most important thing. It's the most important thing. Your teammates are the most important thing on the court. You can't just have one guy. If you got, you know, one guy kind of out for himself, or you know, just guys on different pages, you know, you won't really play that well. You won't succeed as a team. And in order to succeed in basketball, it's a team effort. So you need leaders out there to try and lead everybody and keep them in the right direction.
When you leave St. Clair and when you leave the NBL Canada Draft Combine later on tonight, what will you take in the most?
I guess at the end of the camp, I'm going to try to do my best to get an assessment of what my performance was. Try to talk to as many people as I can, and you know, and see how I can grow from there as a player and as a man. And hopefully I can go home and you know, take some good news. Keep working. If this doesn't work out here, then I can go take what I learned here and go somewhere else with it. If it does work out, then that's great. You know?
And that's the beauty of it too, because now you're being presented a global spotlight to show off everything. So the opportunities are limitless for you, and we wish you nothing but the best. So thank you, Elijah, for your time, and enjoy the rest of this Sunday afternoon.
Thank you.
Coming up with more potential athletes, and we got this one right here. What's your name, sir?
Dominic Tennis Harriet, sir.
I'm doing good. Where are you from, sir?
I'm from London, England.
London, England. Oh, beautiful. You see, the global presence is right out here. So first of all, coming from London, England, what sparked your interest about the NBL of Canada?
I think it's just a great league for development, and it's beginning to pick up a lot of talent and being recognized around the world. So, I mean, it's just a great opportunity to have, and it's good to actually be here.
How can you assess your performance here in this draft combine the last 2 days?
I mean, I've been pretty good. I mean, I've been working hard, like along with every other guy in here. Like, there's a lot of talented guys in here, and it's just important to separate yourself with doing the little things, working hard, getting rebounds, steals, charges, being a good teammate is really important, and just being a winner. So I mean, I'm just trying to be out here and just try to show that I can win, and I can work hard, and I can bring something to the team.
You know, this draft combine is being broadcasted live, of course, around the world. And within the last few years, we've seen a lot of impressive details, like when it comes to mixtapes or when it comes to attention for a specific player, either in high school and college or especially in the professional league. So how big of a step is this for you to represent yourself in a Canadian league, possibly?
Oh, this is a huge step for me. This is big for my career, big for my resume. I mean, a statement like this on my resume would be really good for me. And I feel like I could go places with this on my resume.
How can you describe yourself as a player?
I like to get everybody involved. I like to make everybody feel comfortable with the ball, and I mean I could do my own thing too. I'm pretty good shooter, and yeah, I just like to win, man. It's all about winning.
It's all about picking up the W's. At the end of the day, what will you take in from this draft combine and this weekend?
Just the work ethic of some of the guys in here, some of the coaches have been talking to me too, and just like the stuff they've been saying, and just try to use that to make my game better and try to develop myself more, because you know there's always stuff to work on. So I'm just trying to use everything that I learned here through the drills and through the coaching and through the different techniques and little hints, advice they've given me, and just put it all together and try be a better player off and on the court.
And that's what it all comes down to, all these athletes vying for a position. Thank you very much for your time and all the best. He came from London, England, and once again, it goes to show how big of a global presence this league really is. We got somebody else we're going to talk to right now. It's nice to see you. What's your name, good sir?
Bernie Young.
And where are you from, Bernie?
My name is Bernie Young. I'm from Chicago, Illinois.
So we got another Midwestern player in the house. How can you assess your performance here in this draft combine?
I thought I played well. Came out here, played defense, showed I can play on the perimeter, just played hard.
You guys have been outside of the Sportsplex as early as 6 or 7 in the morning, and you guys have been eager to get a pick in the NBL Canada for as long as you can remember, but we can always go back to the beginning. So how did NBL Canada spark your interest?
You know, I always really knew about the league. A lot of players that played in the league I knew of, and I just knew it was a good opportunity. So it just caught my attention as soon as I heard about it.
What type of player are you on the court?
I'm a hard-working player, a defensive player that likes to get out in the transition. I can spot up and shoot, so a lot of different things I can do.
What has been the most exciting part for you in this draft combine this weekend?
I really like the drills at the beginning. The 15-minute drills for day one, they was really good. Good competition, especially the competition drills, 3-on-3, 1-on-1, 5-on-5, half court. So I really like those drills.
And you know, those drills, they start off as individual challenges, and that builds into the teamwork. So how important is teamwork for you when it comes to basketball?
Teamwork is big for me. I think of myself as a leader, so I feel like, personally myself, is communicating with the team and showing my leadership and everybody talking, and it makes everything much better.
And we hope things get better for you on and on this afternoon. Good luck to you, and have fun out there.
Thank you.
So we interviewed a lot of players, and we're going to interview more of them, and you could tell the character that they bring into this league. And we're going to meet this guy right now. How are you doing, sir? What's your name?
David Hay.
David?
David Hay, nice to meet you.
Where are you from, David?
I'm from New York.
New York, New York. Okay, we talked to a couple of players from New Jersey, but not from New York yet. So with that being said, how can you describe this type of style of basketball that New York plays? Because I know they have Rucker Park over there in the streets and everything, the New York Knicks and everything else. So how can you describe their type of style?
The basketball style played out in New York is very fast-paced. A lot of point guards that are controlling the game. A lot of shooters. Pretty much, positions 1 through 5 can handle the ball just like a point guard. Very fast-paced.
So very versatile players and all-around players, eh?
That's correct.
So how can you assess your performance here this weekend?
This weekend, I've been doing a lot of combo work right now. Playing off the ball was what I basically did today. Yesterday, I was taking more, leadership roles as far as playing the point guard position. So I've just been trying to, make the right pass, and just play open spots as much as I can.
And basically you're just switching up your styles to see what works out for you and prove yourself as an all-around athlete. So that sounds nice, eh?
Exactly. I mean, that's what it's all about. You know, being versatile right now.
What do you like the most about this draft combine?
This draft combine, I'd say the first day, you know, it was something similar to the NBA draft. You know, the skill work and the drills that we did. You know, I met a lot of players. You know, a lot of networking between players. I definitely appreciate everybody that definitely came out. You know.
What's going to be important to you when you take all this into consideration when this draft combine ends?
If I took that shot, if I made that extra pass, you know, if I was that teammate, you know, that got everybody better around me. So that's what's really going to take into consideration, if I make a team or not, or, you know, if I get picked in the draft or invited to a training camp. I just want to be that player that makes the whole team on the floor better.
Okay, that's nice. And came from New York, and now you're here in Canada presenting yourself in the global audience. So all the best to you.
Thank you, man.
And thank you for your time. So New York, New Jersey, it just spans around the globe, as we mentioned, London, England, and all that other stuff. But the main attraction is right here at the St. Clair College Sportsplex for the NBL Canada Draft Combine. We're going to get locked and loaded with some more action soon enough, but I believe we're going to be talking to some more players if that's going to be the case. So come right in. How you doing, man? I'm doing good.
Zach Casita, nice to meet you.
Zach, where you come from?
Salt Lake City, Utah, baby.
Salt Lake City, Utah. More of the Northwestern players around here. How can you assess your performance here this week?
Doing pretty good. You just got to know it's going to be hectic a little bit and just try to play to the pace of the game and keep it going as well as you can.
We've been spending the last 2 afternoons trying to pick out what's so different about the different types of styles that everybody's come from. We talked to a player from London, England. We talked to a lot of players in the New Jersey, New York area. So how can you describe the type of style that the city of Utah in the Northwestern area plays?
Well, the city of Utah is also known for shooters. Obviously, I shoot. I do that. But with around from like New York, you know, England and stuff like that, you get a versatile from everybody. So you got drivers that can go ahead, dunk, you know, blockers. That's what they're known for over there, you know, on the East Coast a lot, and playing, you know, hard basketball.
So does that describe how you play? You're the type of versatile shooter that comes in?
Yes, I'm very, for sure.
Okay, then that just describes it, everything. What caught your attention the most about NBL Canada?
What caught my attention is actually having all the coaches here and a lot of agents that you actually can talk to that are walking around the court, and you can actually communicate with them. It's a different aspect that they definitely bring to the league and to the game.
Have you ever participated in a big event like this to vie for a team position?
Yes, actually. I made the top 20 for the Salt Lake Stars, the NBA G League, just barely.
Oh, so you were in the G League too. So, okay, there you go.
Yeah, I didn't play in it. I was just made the top 20 in a couple different G League teams. I didn't get drafted yesterday, but you know we're here now in this draft, and it's looking pretty good.
And you know there's been plenty of NBA G League players that actually played in the NBLC, and most of them are actually participating in the draft combine. And you mentioned the draft yesterday. Plenty of them made it to the NBA G League to play for them. So with that being said, how important is it to create that type of relationship with that league and for this league in order to make it strong here in the global presence?
It's tremendous. It's for sure. I mean, it's our next door neighbors, obviously. We know each other, and we're very close with each other. So this is definitely a great platform to get you into also not the NBA G League, but also if you would like to go overseas or across the water as well. And what's good about this league is, you know, you have 70 Americans that play in this league. That's really good. So that makes it very competitive as well.
What's going to be the most important thing you take in when this draft combine is over?
Just be patient, never rush anything, and hope for the best. It's all up to God.
And any advice you would like to give to the potential athletes in future draft combines or just the viewers listening in now?
I would say that, you know, if you work hard, it'll definitely be seen out here for sure. They will get you a shot.
All the best of you. You hail from Salt Lake City, Utah, all the way to come here. That's talking about going from point A to point B real quick, eh?
Hey, it was a long trip to get here. Hey. All the flights were full. Had to fly to Toronto and drive 4 hours down this way.
So it's going to pay off for you soon, I'm sure. So all the best to you, sir. Thank you very much.
Appreciate that.
So we're going to have a little bit of powwow going on over here. We might have more combine games along the way. So let's listen in. Let's look in to see what's going on right here. And as you do that, we'll cut to a commercial, and be right back to see what event's going on next here at the Draft Combine on WeTV.
The job market has changed, and I have to adapt. I'm not just getting theory, I'm getting skills. A degree isn't necessarily a pathway to their career. Being industry ready is. I choose to take control of my future, and my path is St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
We know you're going to the same gym, and we know you're expecting different results.
This is your invitation to visit Club Attitude, Windsor's best-kept training secret. Individual, custom-designed fitness specifically tailored for you. Clean, modern, well-equipped studio. Body, mind, and soul. Come on, make that change. It won't be scary.
I learn by doing. I learn by reacting to a situation. St. Clair puts me directly into my industry. I'm dealing with real patients, real life situations. It's not just theory, it's not book work anymore.
I choose to take control of my future, and my path is St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
Did you know that the most severe injuries in our region are motor vehicle crashes? 65% of road fatalities last year were directly the result of distracted driving. 90% of injuries arriving in our emergency rooms are preventable. Our message to you this summer is, put down the phone. Just drive. Let's work together to keep our trauma stretchers empty.
The job market has changed, and I have to adapt. I'm not just getting theory, I'm getting skills. A degree isn't necessarily a pathway to their career. Being industry ready is. I choose to take control of my future, and my path is St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
Welcome back to the NBL Canada Draft Combine here at the St. Clair College Sportsplex. These guys just finished their lunch intermission, and now they're going to take part in stretching. Most likely to get ready for more action that goes on here this afternoon. And we'll be on till 2 p.m. to be covering the Draft Combine. And for everybody that's watching, we hope you are enjoying yourself watching these potential athletes make it big in the global stage and in a national league for you to know for years and years and years. So take a good look at these players who are committed to making a name of themselves in NBL Canada. Most of them came here as early as 6 and 7 in the morning, waiting for these doors to open and grab a ball, cross over a few people, and be confident in their shots. We'll look in at the stretching portion of the Draft Combine along with you. Leading the proceedings is Shane Toplovic, the Windsor Express trainer and, of course, of Next Level Athletics here in Windsor, Ontario. He's been dealing with the whale of the job with all these 151 athletes this past weekend. And the work does not stop for him. I mean, it's a bit of a stretch, but what can you say? These guys are committed. Yes, sirree. In order to make a name of yourself into a major professional league, you got to go right down to the basics. From stretching to the X's and O's, right down to the competitiveness and leadership for your team. All right, down here I have the new head coach of the St. John Riptide, Nelson Taroba. For most of you, you might have seen him before. He used to coach in the NBA G League, so he has a lot of things to go into an impressive resume. And Nelson, first of all, what is your initial thoughts to NBL Canada and this draft combine?
Well, first of all, the combine has been organized fantastically in terms of the way the guys have had a good chance to get skill work. They've had 2 days worth of playing, and the coaches, you know, the access they have to coaches is unmatched. So for us as a staff, all of our whole staff is here. Just being able to see these guys in different settings over and over again has been really big.
How important is it to pick all these guys and to make sure they realize that, you know, not only they're going to be a part of the team, but they're going to be part of a global phenomenon that basketball has become within the last few years?
Well, I think, you know, one thing we take advantage, or we don't take for granted, is that this is a huge opportunity for these guys. You know, and there's about 100 here. We've gotten more than 200 people who have submitted information to our team just to get a chance. And one of the things that we'll take away as far as what we tell our guys in training camp is there's a bunch of people who are fighting for this dream, and this is an opportunity that we can't take for granted. So we're thankful for the chance to see these guys, but we also want to communicate to our guys they have to respect the opportunity they have.
And you've been around it all, being a part of the G League, and now going on to a global stage. And a lot of people keep on forgetting to realize that, you know, the G League and the NBL Canada has a great partnership. And because of that, next week there's going to be an exhibition between the Raptors 905 and the defending NBL champions London Lightning. So how important is that to collaborate with those two leagues and to be able to make sure that both of these teams and both of these leagues get that global presence that they rightfully deserve?
Well, Aaron, I think the G League is the second best league in North America behind the NBA, I think, right now. And the NBL is just right there competing with it. And I think the game between those two will be a really good opportunity for us to see, you know, how we measure up. London and their success, you know, has been very well chronicled. And the 905, I know we played against them last year. They were, I mean, Coach Stackhouse does a great job with them. So that's going to be a very good measuring stick for the league to see how we stack up against the D League.
What are the type of traits that we are going to look forward to seeing? Well, basically, what are you going to bring in from the NBA G League to NBL Canada and the St. John Riptide this year?
Well, I think, you know, what we want to do, whether it's from G League or not, is just we want to make sure we build a plan that helps our guys develop, right? So the G League is all about development, always has been. We want to be able to do that in season, and we think the best programs are able to make sure that their guys are getting better during the season, whether it's through skill work, video work, individual work, you know, goal setting, all that stuff. The biggest thing, our focus is on making sure our players leave better when they arrive and that they have a good experience in St. John.
How's your experience been in NBL Canada, knowing that, well, basically you're the new kid on the block, the new coach and everything? How have they adjusted and responded to this situation?
They being the players or the
well, everybody, because I've heard from social media and everywhere else that the response has been absolutely generous since you decided to take on as head coach of the St. John Riptide.
Well, everyone's been friendly. I mean, the one thing I know about Canada, just from being here for about a month and a half now, is that everybody's really friendly. St. John is a great city. The people love their basketball. You know, I walk through the city market and everyone's calling me coach, and they're already asking me about the roster. And so in terms of respect for the game and love of the game, the country definitely expresses that consistently and everywhere I go. So for me, you know, we don't get caught up in titles and all that stuff. You know, I've just been very thankful for the fact that people here are real welcoming, and we're just focused on putting a plan together that the players can develop into and can do their best within.
What are you going to take in the most from this draft combine when it's all said and done?
The combine itself is just, like I said, the big takeaway is how many players there are that want to play at a high level and how many good ones are. And the difference between making a team and not is so fine a line, right? And just really appreciating that and seeing even more talent. We've been studying players for so long, and now we come here and we see even new players that we hadn't seen before. So it's just eye-opening to just note how many good players are out there that just need an opportunity.
And this is the opportunity, right, and this is the place to be right here, too. Coach Taraboa, thank you for your time, and good luck to you along the way coaching the St. John Riptide.
All right, thank you, Aaron. Appreciate it.
Nelson Taroba, the head coach of the St. John Riptide, one of the new coaches around here. And as I mentioned before, we have 3 new coaches in NBL Canada this year. 4 of them are known in the NBL Canada, but they are placed in new teams. So it's quite interesting to see the foresight of all these coaches. We're going to break away, and as we we're going to see more people right here. What's your name, sir?
Cheyenne.
All right, Cheyenne, and you represent the Niagara River Lions, a very great team, first of all. And how are you taking in this draft combine?
Well, you know, we've got a great turnout of guys here today, and over the course of the weekend, we saw some great competition. So just really looking for anybody who's playing both ends of the floor, hard-nosed defense, and pretty much anybody, any good character guys on the court, off the court, kind of builds into our philosophy.
And from looking at the new signings for the River Lions and some of the returns over there, it seems like it's a rebuilding process. So how is that going on? How is that going along before this season, and how are you guys taking this in?
Well, we're here pretty much looking to see what guys can kind of, you know, really come into camp and can kind of help us be a successful team. Obviously, last season didn't quite turn out the way we wanted it to be, but definitely this season we're looking for it to be a successful one. And, you know, you come to a combine like this, you have a lot of talented players out here trying to showcase their talents. And, you know, hopefully you can find 1 or 2 gems that you can really steal from some of the other teams, and then hopefully they can help you improve on your record from last season, right? So
that's the truth right there. And, of course, you got a new coach in this year, Joe Razzo, a great resume when it comes to him in the world of basketball. So how much confidence does that bring in, knowing that you got a veteran coach leading in a global team as the Niagara River Lions?
Well, Joe's great. He came in, he has a game plan, knows what he wants to do. He's gone after the players that will really fit into his philosophy and his motto, and guys who will just buy in, right? And that's the big thing that we need in order to be a successful team this season, is guys who are going to come in, buy in, play both ends of the floor, be good character guys on and off the court, and, you know, just really not give up. They're going to hustle hard, play for him. And that's really what we're looking to do this season, right? So Joe brings in that confidence that, you know, those players can kind of look to him as a teacher, as a role model, and somebody who can really show them how to better prepare themselves and excel at the next level.
And for these potential athletes, say they do get drafted to the River Lions, what else do they need to know about this River Lions squad that's going to make them stand out and become one of the hottest teams in NBL Canada?
They better come in looking to play some defense, hard-nosed defense. Joe is going to look for them to play both ends of the floor and really guard full court. His big motto has been defense, defense, defense. So if his team plays good enough defense, the offense will come. So we're not looking for, you know, the guys who are going to come in and, you know, light it up real quick. If the team can play as a team, that is all we can really ask for, right? So we can get the guys to come in and really just buy in to everything that's going on, and together we can hopefully improve.
And that's a really bold bottom line. Thank you for your time, and all the best to you throughout the rest of the draft combine. So we've heard from plenty of representatives from pretty much every team, and they have said that pretty much the same bottom line. They buy into this contest. They buy into the system. And for all these new players, they're going to realize what's going to make them stand out from this league. So it's great to talk to the coaches, great to talk to all the representatives of the teams, and it's great to see the players, too, as we get to see them venture more in the combine games, because they just finished stretching out, and now they're going to warm up. So let's just look at more of the action as they warm up here for more combine action. So more warming up procedures being done around as we prepare for more combine scrimmages here. Once again, we're going to be on live until 2 p.m. and then later on tonight, the moment everybody's been waiting for, the NBL Canada Draft. As Audley Stevenson said, this will be a closed-door draft, but it doesn't mean you will be barred from all the action. Stay tuned around the NBL Canada websites and social media pages around 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to get the updates and the players that will make one of these 10 teams. So the draft, once again, 8 p.m. Check the social media pages for more information along the way. Buzzer goes, which means more scrimmage action underway. And as you can see the players warming up, you can see how determined and disciplined they are in order to get a draft pick here in the NBL of Canada. And we're going to be showcased with more action for all these potential athletes soon enough. So they're going to get things started for part 2 of the combine scrimmages in the final day of the NBL Canada Draft Combine. And it will be worth a watch. And here we go once again with the action. All 3 sides of the court displaying good talent, so we'll keep you posted and have action from every angle right here. Bottom half of the court is underway. Team Red versus Team Black once again. A good dribble drive and a crossover. What a major block. That's one way to start it with great speed, and number 26 gets Team Red on the board. And in the middle section, things also go underway too. Looks like Team Red has the advantage too. And over at the far end, a nice fast break opportunity for Team Black. So we will pay attention to all of these games for you to see all these players do what they have to do to get a draft pick in the NBL of Canada. Over at the bottom side of the court, Red takes advantage of it. Number 91, Reggie Williams Jr. with the steal, and it converts into a three-pointer. Red on a hot to trot start, 7-0 with 8:25 to go in the first half. Now we get to see wing play. A three-pointer does not go for Charlie Shorter. That's the guy we talked to early on. Quick move to the basket by Sean Amaker Jr. Loses his control. And we got somebody coming up. Last time, so. Okay, we got an agent here, and like I said, all scouts and all coaches come here, but the agents are the most important thing because they know what it takes to catapult somebody into a major superstar. We have Rorik standing by with me, and in an agent's perspective and in an agent's minds, what's the most important key when it comes to representing players and make sure they get up to success?
Well, believing in them, right? I think that's the first and most important thing. If you have an agent, you want them to actually believe in your skills and your ability. I think that's probably the most important thing.
How much homework and all those notes does it take to make sure that you zero all these leads?
So, you know, again, it's more about fit of what the team is looking for, finding the right talent to match that. So it's a lot of homework has to go into it. So.
And a lot of players, believe it or not, they come from the NBL Canada either straight from college, straight for high school, or most of them were former NBA players or NBA G League players, or they played overseas. So with that in mind, how much confidence can a player have when they know they're playing in a league that has so much talent that's been displayed around the world at least once or back in the day?
I mean, players are in their abilities, right? So I don't think they take into consideration where a player has played or what league they've come from. I mean, it's all about what you do on the court and how you produce. So these guys are all confident. There's a lot of good talent here. So I think they're doing a really good job.
And would you consider this draft combine a big step towards success and notoriety for said clients and players around here?
Well, yeah, for sure. I mean, this NBL is probably it is the third biggest basketball league in North America. You have the NBA G League, which I consider just one league, and then you have the NBL. So it is getting its recognition overseas in Europe. So a lot of the bigger leagues in Germany and France and Spain and Italy are now looking at guys coming from the NBL.
And it takes a lot of hard work, like you said, and we appreciate your time here, Rorik. Thank you for your time, and all the best to you, the finding success in all the players. We're going to go back to more combine scrimmage action. As you see, the bottom half of the game is getting physical. It's 15-14 in favor of Team Red. And then we see in the middle section, Team Black using all their effort to get that rebound, and now they're on the other end of the court. Straightaway three is no good for number 49, Adric Hills. 5'9" guard, and a good pickup right there by number 143, Casio Rodriguez. He's a 6'9" forward, locked in, ready to go, and making the paint his neighborhood. Ball goes out of bounds at the bottom end, and at the far end, Team Black getting business done. Great ball rotation, believe it or not. Oh, almost a putback slam. The donut missed the coffee. Number 68 tried to redeem himself, but he couldn't. That's Ashford Arthur once again, a Canadian taking part of this global stage here at the Draft Combine, and a good layup right there on the middle side of the action. The scramble for the ball. Here's Team Black that gets it back with 2:35 to go in the first half. A lot of decisions being made. They're in the position to shoot. Adric Hills' three is a no-go. And we go back to the bottom half of the competition as number 70, William Donku, gets the rebound. Another Canadian in the process of making it in the NBLC. And a good three-point basket made by Reggie Williams Jr. Under 2 minutes to go in the bottom half of this game and the middle part here at the NBL Canada Draft Combine. We're going to focus more action on the bottom half section of the gym. Darius Graham getting it done. We talked to him yesterday. And he said himself, he's the guy that drives to the basket, makes good shot choices. And on the middle end, once again, Zach Casita. He has some sort of experience in the NBA G League, but now he's taking part in a global stage. And he's showing himself up real good. He said he's a real versatile shooter, but when he gets the ball, he makes sure he makes those wise choices. And that was a good shot choice for him to get that layup. A minute and 10 to go in the middle section of the court, as you see on your screen. Once again, crisp passes right down high, a low to high pass. Another minute to go at the middle section. At the far end, we hear a whistle. That's going to be a foul. They're going to be running the clock as they do this contest. And like we said at the beginning, more than 100 athletes participating in this event this year. This is the 7th Draft Combine as we see a slam dunk in the middle end. What a dunk. Takes it up with two hands. And that's Daenerys Darby. DeAndre Livingston loses his footing, gets double teamed. 9 seconds to go in the middle end. And a whistle on the play will end the first half like that. So, as the players said for themselves, these scrimmages are beginning to become more aggressive than it was yesterday. And that's all that's been going on in the third and final day of the Draft Combine. You can see now everybody's getting loose. They met some of the players, so they basically met some of their competition. Teamwork comes into play really big when it comes to these scrimmage games because it showcases how much leadership these players can have within themselves instead of playing good individually. So the second half has started for all games. Good take to the basket, but that's going to be a foul. On the drive to the basket was number 30, Kamai Walker. He's from Endicott. 5'9" guard. He's going to go to the line. And we go back to business at the bottom half of the gym. Red making the inbounds pass over to Donku. Pick and roll opportunity for Adrian Mike. They swing the ball around high, low. That was an ill-advised pass. The black team goes at the other end, and a nice layup. And the finish by Tyrone O'Garo. Red team tried to retaliate. Like we said at the beginning, Team Red started off this game on a 7-0 run, but now it's now a 2-point game with 8:55 to go. And look at the footwork used on Daquan Miller. For a guard like that, you better have those shifty handles intact. The Big Sutton stop at the basket, a pump fake, and a shot won't go. And then over at the far end is Team Black on the move. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have another half hour of combine action here before we sign off for the afternoon. So far, it's been nothing but business for 151 of these athletes taking part in the 7th annual NBL Canada Draft Combine. Once again, all representatives of all the 10 teams in the league are here. They've liked what they've seen so far. But now they're going to get down to the nitty-gritty, or prepare for it at least. What a tomahawk jam by Greg Foster. Came from Saginaw Valley State. He's 6'3", 179-pounder. Taking business with his right hand. Nice right hand jam. And like we said, we have players coming around from as far as London, England, through all corners of North America, especially the Canadians too. Foul from the other end, but won't get it. And you could see Gregory taking matters into his own hands, making himself stay committed to the play and sacrificing his body too. And like we said, the Reds started off hot, but it's Team Black that's been leading it since then, as they lead 35-28 with 5:43 to go in the second half of this game. And we go back to the middle end of the court. Three-pointer on the way for Joe Profit, and that's no good. And it prompts to a slam dunk on the other end. That's Carlton Allen. He comes from Lincoln, Pennsylvania. And for a 6'10" guy like that, you can rely on him to finish strong on the transition game. So the middle half of this court scoreboard says they're even at 28 apiece. We're under 5 minutes to go in this game. You and I are seeing a big test of endurance among all these players. And now you could hear them being vocal on defense, which is a major key to set that trap zone and stay pretty airtight into the trap defense and everything else. So when it comes to the X's and O's, teamwork comes with it too. That's the only way the X's and O's work. On the far end of the gym, Team Red trying to take advantage of the transition game, but they lost their bearings, and it's going to take number 146 to get the job done. David Raro, a 5'11" guard. That comes up with a pop-up jumper. Cross-court pass at the middle end. Whistle on the play. Going back down to the bottom half of the court. Team Red trying to regain consciousness as they trail 7. We got the battle of the big boys and down to the paint, but once again, it goes to the other side. Pull-up jumper, and that turns to a banker. That's an interesting shot by Wakefield Ellison. On the middle end, pump fake by Vincent Diller. He tries to take it in. He gets fouled. He'll go to the line. Footwork being displayed at the far end of the Sportsplex. Shot goes off the backboard and behind the backboard. That goes out of bounds as Dillard hits his free throw. Most of these games wrapping up with under 3 minutes to go. It's an interesting test, to say the least, about how all these scouts, coaches, and agents can simply zero in on plenty of players in unison. And you could tell they'd done their homework even before the draft combine. Vincent Dillard again, just taking the show on the middle end of the court. It's a 32-30 game at the middle court. At the bottom court, it's 42-35. Team Black has the advantage with under 2 minutes to go. Loose ball picked up by Red, and it's number 91, Reggie Williams Jr. taking business in his own hands again. So now this game has gotten quite interesting. It's a 5-point game. Middle end, it's a 2-point game. At the far end, it's some sort of contest. We got a tie game in the middle end thanks to the black basket. We approach under a minute to go in these set of combine games. So we have the score at the far end. It's 38-32. And down courtside, we're going to talk to the head coach of the Windsor Express, Bill Jones, once again. And so far, it has been a pretty amazing event that you guys organized out. Tell me, what were the emotions like for you guys after day one of the draft combine?
You know what? We were excited. You know, our staff put a lot of work in, 3 months. So I'm just happy on the turnout. We've gotten rave reviews from our league personnel, also our players, and all the people that's been here. So it was a successful event. So I hope the league can consider us again to be able to potentially host this event again. But we really had fun, and we were glad of the turnout.
And the fans have been pretty great and been very responsive to this event too. I mean, they're liking what they see. We see everybody upstairs watching it, watching their potential favorite superstars in the future. So what does that mean for the Windsor Express organization to host an event like this? And going on to this, how impactful this could be for the city of Windsor?
You know what? It was very special to be able to have St. Clair #1 host us. We thank them, and then to be able to have our fans have an appetizer, a tidbit for the start of the season, to be able to get ready for Windsor Express basketball, to be able to host this combine with 100+ players to come out there and showcase their talents with the opportunity to potentially be in our league.
151 athletes total into this vying for a spot. Most of them will make it to the big times. Most of them will get cut, but it doesn't necessarily mean the journey is over for them. So when it comes to all of that, you know, how important is it for these athletes to realize that, hey, you got to keep on trying no matter what. This is what you came here for, and you just keep on going with it.
Yeah, you know, my talk to the guys at the end is to don't ever give up on your dream. You know, you're investing in your future today. This was a job interview, and some of you guys will be able to get hired, but some of you guys won't. So you got to be able to continue to seek jobs, continue to work hard, and to be able to potentially get into a league or get into pro basketball if that's your dream.
And a lot of these players, they came from as far as London, England, and all around the corners of North America. With that being said, how does this solidify the NBL Canada as one of the top leagues around the global universe?
Well, this is definitely one of the top leagues in North America. So this is great. I mean, these players had the opportunity to come. You know, we believe that we're the next best thing than the NBA, and to be able to have these guys come out there and compete for a chance to get into our league, we're happy to be able to provide that for them.
This has been a great event so far, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of tensions running high when it comes to the draft later on tonight. So it's going to be a lot of hand-picking, but I'm sure you guys and everybody else will get the job done. Thank you, Coach Jones, for your time.
Thanks a lot to WeTV for coming out and helping us throughout this event and doing a super job. Thanks, Aaron.
And thank you very much. Bill Jones, the head coach of the Windsor Express, and he was one of the guys that was behind the whole draft combine process to make sure Windsor gets on the market, to be sure they are a global city, to make sure all this goes down. And we're going to see what's going down here as we continue draft combine coverage here on WeTV. What all these athletes are about to engage in is a post-mortem speech. They're going to gather all the coaches and the staff that made this draft combine come together and give some sort of parting words to these potential athletes. Like we said before, a hard-fought event, a real thrill for most of the athletes and pretty much everybody that's been involved with this draft combine this past weekend. So nothing to be sad about. And as Coach Bill Jones alluded to a while ago, it just all came together, and big kudos to St. Clair College for allowing the Windsor Express and the league to host the draft combine. So we're just going to listen in and see what everyone has to say. Let's tune in. And Riptide head coach Nelson Taroba couldn't say it better. That's team play that comes together, the camaraderie, and of course the professionalism that came from all 151 of these athletes to come down here and represent themselves no matter where they come from, but they realize how much hard work it comes into coming down here and try to don an NBL Canada jersey. That's going to wrap it up for us. We completed 2 days of the NBL Canada Draft Combine. It's been great. We hope that you enjoyed watching it. And as we leave you, we have more coaches talking to each other, and that's where we're going to leave you as that. So terrific job from all the crew, first of all, here on we-tv.ca, and of course the volunteers. St. Clair College hosted this, and it was a wonderful time seeing all these players represent themselves. Great talking with the coaches and the players and everyone else that made this come together, and then of course you, the viewers. So thank you for watching, and until next time, this be Aaron Sanders saying so long from the Rose City.